My name's Alex Shaw, also known as Shawry, and I'm going to be representing Watford on the Xbox at the ePremier League Grand Finals.
My name's Tom Stokes, and I'll be representing Watford on the PlayStation side at the Grand Finals.
The first question we've got for you, a lot of people out there will be looking to have a career playing FIFA. That's obviously something that has been able to be done in recent years. So for the audience out there, how did you first get into professional FIFA? We'll start with Stokes.
Yeah, so for me, it was a case of realising I was a lot better than the people that my friends. So that was the first kind of stage. And once I did that and I started looking into the game and how I could start playing more competitive, start playing against better people, I suddenly realised there's a whole new stage and competitive series out there which allows you to obviously turn it into something else. So that's what I did, and obviously I kept progressing and realising I was capable of doing it for full time.
Nice. Yeah, sure.
Well, mine was a very weird one, becoming good, because I played FIFA for a long time and I'd beat my friends, but I wasn't in FUT champs like FIFA 17, I wasn't getting top 100 or anything. I don't know, some transition in FIFA 18, I just became good for some reason, and I don't know what happened. I was always decent, but then I started beating pro players, and then I qualified for my first event, and I was there oh my God, this is actually a chance to, and then I got picked up by a team, and then all of a sudden, you're in this career, and I didn't necessarily plan out for it, but it's pretty amazing, the way you can just come into it all. It's crazy.
And what made you choose Watford? I think our fans would love to know the reasoning behind that.
Yeah, well, my main reason for picking Watford, and obviously we wanted to be on the team together, my granddad was from Watford, and it's kind of for him doing this whole picking Watford thing. I represent Watford 2 years ago, made it to the semi-finals of the ePremier League, so that was great. Obviously Tom was the champion as well, which was great. But yeah, that was the main reason behind it. Obviously, you've grown up around Watford as well.
Yeah, I went to West Herts in Watford, the college, so that was I'm quite local, so obviously it made sense for me as well. Yeah.
Perfect fit, really. So.
Don't you have the same birthday as Roy Hodgson as well?
I do have the same birthday as Roy Hodgson.
When you're about to compete in major tournaments like the ePremier League, how do you prepare? Is it a case of literally sitting in front of the screen, grinding it out, doing different things, or do you have kind of a relaxed approach? What's your kind of technique for training and that?
I'm definitely not relaxed. Obviously, I'll be playing a bit more when the time comes, but I think it's more about what you do with your time, right? In a normal week, I would be playing a bit more chill, playing some FUT champions, playing some more fun stuff, but then towards the tournament, I'll dedicate my time to just purely playing better players all the time, just to make sure I'm just ready, kind of thing.
Nice. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, just more of the same. Yeah, good bit of watching gameplay as well. As much as you play, you don't want to just be playing all day on repeat to the point where you're just becoming a bit of a robot and you're not actually learning things. But it's play for an hour or two, stop, watch some streams, watch some high-level pro games, go back to it, just a good mix of stuff where you feel like you're grinding, but I just think it's important for you sometimes that you don't play too much sometimes, because you can actually get into some bad routines, but obviously you want to get it right, and then you've got a good grind going.
Nice, yeah, sounds good. So we all know that footballers have pre-match rituals. They might put their left sock on first, or something like that. Do you guys have any pre-match, pre-tournament rituals? Anything you do every time to make sure you're successful almost?
Rituals I've got is that I would listen to music during a game, and sometimes I'll listen to the exact same track. It might be an instrumental song, it's not a song with lyrics, it's literally just an instrumental track that I don't really find boring or something like that. Same as I don't know, I always wear my favourite hoodie before I play as well. That's always just a good luck thing, which I don't know why I stick with still, because on days where it goes bad, I still then do it next time even. But yeah. That is something I do. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, to me it's not so much a routine, but I just like to do the same thing in terms of getting in early, getting the hands nice and warm and just chilling out. I'm not getting too into it.
You both listen to music, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you think that kind of makes you a bit calmer and brings that kind of...
Yeah, I think.
It's definitely an interesting thing, because there's not many esports where you'd say that listening to music, Call of Duty for example, you can't sit and listen to music during a game, but obviously, to be fair, we can never really do it in 2v2 as much, especially when you're trying to talk on the headset, but in 1v1, you just want to get in a zone with music, it's actually quite common in FIFA, to be fair.
Yeah. Do you prefer playing with each other, or do you prefer 1v1? What's your kind of...
I like the mix. I like the dynamic of sometimes having the 1v1s. I like kind of when they do a 1v1, then a 2v2, because I do enjoy both aspects, but I think sometimes when you're playing by yourself, you don't feel like you're going to let your teammate down, and that can be more like stress-free. So,
yeah, I mean, just like more on that, like it's like losing as a team hurts more because you feel like you don't, like if you've played bad, you don't think you've let someone down. But then the same way that if you win together, it's like a boosted feeling because you didn't just win yourself, you won with someone. Whereas like when you win 1v1, don't get me wrong, it's still absolutely great. But like you knew that was like it was you that played good or you that played bad. So it feels great when you win with a teammate, basically. Yeah.
And as we know, you know, I think everyone kind of has a favourite FIFA. For me, I think, to be honest, it was around FIFA 14, FIFA 15. Love those days with finesse and stuff. What do you think has been your favourite FIFA to date?
There you go.
Favourite FIFA? I don't know. I think I'd probably have to say, I don't know. If you went like fun-wise from when I was like a kid, like it probably would be like FIFA 14 or something, FIFA 15, similar to what you said. But if I went like competitive-wise, I think I'd have to say FIFA 19. Just like that was my first year in competitive FIFA, and I made it to like quite a few events. Met so many people. Like you do realise like what an amazing scene we have of people. And yeah, probably FIFA 19, I would say. Yeah, and it's probably the one I would say I was the best at, probably. So far.
Yeah, I've got a similar answer in terms of recent years, but I think going backwards, the more arcadey FIFAs, FIFA 15, 16, those sort of times, I enjoyed playing FIFA back then a lot. Yeah.
Classic front three in the barber.
Yeah. You could get away with really cheap but OP like strikers. I like that.
Like 65 shot
and it would fly in. Just doesn't happen these days, does it, boys?
It's so competitive now. But I suppose it's a good thing, isn't it? Because it allows you to compete and take it seriously and kind of do what you do, which is great. It's kind of taken kind of a leap forward in that sense.
Yeah.
And then I mean, finally, just wanted to round off anyone who's kind of listening out there who thinks or watching who thinks, you know, that they might want to get into FIFA or try and be professional. Have you got kind of any tips for them if they want to come into it? Is it just practice, try and qualify, do all these things, or is there anything else they can kind of do to get into FIFA professionally?
I think obviously, like anything, it takes a lot of time. However, it's important to remember to just balance everything and remember that mentality is a key thing. Don't get too down on yourself and keep trying to keep that open mind in terms of, oh, I lost, but what can I learn from the game that I lost? That makes that sort of thing.
Yeah, I was literally, when you said that, the first thing I was going to say is mentality. I mean, people like always, you know, in streams come in and say, oh, how can I learn this skill move? And like, you can know every skill move on the game, but like, it's how you execute stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? A lot of players will overdo things. Like, it's important to like, as a pro player, I would say, like implement things like one by one. Especially as a guy trying to be a pro player, like coming up in the scene. And then, like Stokes said, mentality is so important, like more important than people realise. Like you have to accept that there are days that you'll play bad, there's days you'll play good. But if you're mentally poor in the middle of games, like it will affect the game so much, like massively. And so that's my biggest tip, is mentality. That's what I always try and tell people.
Lovely. Well, thanks for talking to us. Good luck in the action event. We'll obviously be rooting for you.
Thank you.
Hopefully you can bring it home.
Yep.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.